This Valentine's Day, what would you be willing to give to make it a special day for your spouse? Over 36 years ago, Chuck and Barb Weiner were married on a nice summer day in June. But their vows were really solidified 5 years ago, a few days in front of Valentine's Day, when Barb did something few partners are able to do, much less in a position to do. She donated a kidney to save her husband's life.
I knew for quite some time that that day would come. My kidney function was decreasing gradually over time. But when it came right down to it, it was, okay, now we have to make a decision.
I'd read up on dialysis, and it's not a quality way of living, actually. It'd be difficult to work, and our life would change. So when we sat at the nephrologist that day and he said, it's time, I was filled with fear. So I don't think I've ever been more fearful. And I just thought, I've got to protect my children. So I just, on the spot, said, it'll be me. And that's when the praying started.
The praying and the testing.
The decision was made to try to find a donor, and there was, from probably minute one, there was no decision. My wife said, I'm going to be the donor, and that will be that. Being a good husband, I thought, well, we'll have her be tested, and then she won't be a match, and then that'll be the end of that conversation.
So when I called the university and said that my blood is a match, they said, well, now we need to do an antigen test, and that was a 2-week wait. I passed, and after that, extensive tests on kidney and heart, and the whole body is checked out, and they have a very high bar for a donor because they already have one ill person, they don't want two.
But when she was tested, it became more and more clear that every time we went through a different step, okay, now she's going to fail. She didn't fail. And we got right down to the bitter end, and it was, her creatinine was slightly low for transplant. And so she had a more specific test done a couple of weeks later, right after Christmas that year. And sure enough, she passed. And so it was, there was no arguing with the woman.
I gave birth physically to 3 children, and I remember that day thinking, oh my gosh, I get to give another life, a 4th one. So for me, it was a miracle, and I've never regretted it or looked back.
And it's not even something she holds over my head, like get the groceries out of the car because I gave you a kidney.
5 years later, Chuck and Barb continue to live out their wedding vows. Today, they're filling out Valentine's cards for their 3 kids and 2 grandchildren. They have a unique bond, shown outwardly with plenty of smiles and plenty of laughter.
We think we're a riot.
Yeah, we're pretty fun.
The smiles don't mask their true feelings for one another, but only enhance it. And if you go a little deeper, like a few inches below Chuck's heart to be specific, there is physical proof that this love story is based on sacrifice and unconditional love.
I got more quality time in my life because my wife gave me those years. You just don't say thank you for that. That's something that's a lifelong blessing.
How long that gift will last, neither of them know. But this love story is one that, thankfully, is still being written. For the Voice of Alexandria, I'm Joe Krakowski.